What's in the box? What's in the box? Can you guess what's in the box? Is it blue? Is it pink?
It's blue, I think.
Good morning, boys and girls. We're really excited to tell you another story from the Bible today. Before we move on to the tap tap box to find out what today's story is about, we want to say a big thank you to Ebba and Eli for sending in their photo of what they'd been up to. Ebba, we love your drawing of Jesus and his friends in the boat in the storm. And Eli, we love your Duplo boat that you have made. And we love that there's ice creams in the boat with Jesus and his friends.
Also, a huge thank you to Caitlin for her fabulous colouring and drawings. We really enjoyed looking at your beautiful picture of Jesus in the boat in the storm. Thanks, Caitlin.
So let's find out what today's story is all about. What's in the box today? Tap, tap, box. Tap, tap, box. Tap, tap, Ebba. What's in the box? We have got a giant rainbow. And the boat is back, but for a different story today. Today, the boat has got lots and lots of animals on it. I wonder if you know what the story is going to be about today. So today's story is about Noah and his ark. You probably guessed that, but we wanted to tell you this story because of the rainbow that you can see in the picture, because lots of people have been painting rainbows and putting them in their windows for people who are able to get out and see the pictures at the moment to make people smile, because we're all a bit stuck in our houses at the moment. But that's not where the rainbow began, and we want to tell you the story of Noah and God talking to Noah and when God put the first rainbow in the sky. So, Noah was one of God's friends. He loved God and he talked to God, and God talked to Noah. And Noah wanted to obey whatever God told him. But most of the other people who were living on the world then, they weren't obeying God. They were being very naughty. We use the word sin. They did things that God didn't want them to do. They didn't love him, and they were doing lots and lots of bad things. So God decided to wash it all away and to start again. So God spoke to Noah, and he told him a crazy thing. He said, I want you, Noah, to build a giant boat called an ark. Noah had never built a boat before. He lived in the desert. He didn't know how to build a boat. But God gave him really clear instructions. We can find this story in Genesis, the first book in the Bible, in chapter 6 to 9. And there you can even find some of the instructions that God gave to Noah. He told him how long the boat should be and how tall the boat should be. And Noah started building. But only Noah and his family built the boat. And they worked for many, many, many years building this huge boat, because they didn't have all the cranes and things that we have now. So they had to carry things, just them, and they had to do all the nailing of the hammering, and it was a very, very big task. And do you know what all the people around Noah did? They just laughed. I think they thought he was a bit mad, because Noah was building a boat in the desert where there was no rain, and the people didn't believe him that God had told him to do it. And Noah kept telling the people around him, you must listen, God is going to wash the earth of all the bad people, but if you trust in God, you can get in the boat with me. But nobody would get in the boat with Noah. Nobody believed him. They just kept laughing. God told Noah that he would send all the animals to the boat when the time was right. So Noah didn't have to go and try and collect all the animals that you can see here. He didn't have to collect the elephants. They just walked up to the boat when God told them to. Isn't that amazing? So when the time was right, the animals came to the boat, and then God closed the door. And Noah and his family were safe inside the boat. They'd collected all the food that they needed and the food that the animals needed, and they were in charge of looking after the animals. And then it started to rain in the desert, just like God had said it would. And it rained, and it rained, and it rained, and it rained. A little bit like Wales, but even more. It rained for a whole 40 days and 40 nights. That's over a month of raining non-stop. And the whole earth flooded, and God washed away all the bad. He washed away the naughtiness and the sin, that word we used earlier, and washed it all so there was going to be a fresh start. God looked after Noah and his family and the animals on the boat. They were kept safe. They bobbed on the water. There was no land to be seen. It was completely flooded. Then, one day, the rain stopped. Just as suddenly as it had began, the rain stopped, which God had promised it would. The ark had to keep bobbing on the water for quite a lot longer because there was so much water it was going to take a long time for it to go down. And Noah sent out a bird, and eventually one day that bird came back with a leaf. And then Noah and his family knew there was land and trees growing again. And not long afterwards, the ark stopped on a bit of land. It was a bit stuck on the top of a mountain because the water hadn't gone all the way down yet. And eventually Noah and his family could get out of the boat. And there was land again. And then we get to the rainbow. God put the first rainbow in the sky, and God promised he would never flood the whole earth ever again, and he promised that it was a new beginning, a fresh start for the people that were now on the earth, Noah and his family, and he wanted them to trust in him and to listen to him. Do you know, boys and girls, today there's bad on the earth again, isn't there? We know that there's lots of people that do wrong things, and we all do things that God didn't want us to do, and we don't love him the way that we should love him. God planned a rescue, not the same rescue as with Noah, not with a boat, and not with a rainbow. God planned for Jesus to come to the earth to rescue boys and girls and mums and dads and grannies and grandpies, all of us who have done bad things, and that means all of us, because we've all done something that we shouldn't have done. God sent Jesus to earth, and he died on the cross so that if we trust in him, we can be friends with God. That's God's big rescue plan. So if we trust in him, we can be his friends too. Thanks for listening again, boys and girls. I hope you've enjoyed the story. Perhaps you could have a sing of the song we sing at Teeny Tots and Sunday School of Noah's Ark. Maybe we'll try and share a link if we can. Send us in your pictures, send a photo of what you've been up to, send us a painting of a rainbow, or perhaps you'd like to try and make an ark out of Duplo, a bit like Eli did of Jesus' boat in the storm. Thanks everybody, we'll look forward to doing another story for you soon. Bye bye!